Welcome everyone. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top tips for making your life a heck of a lot easier when you're working on your RC cars. So without further ado, let's begin. So if you have a nice worktop, so like this table for example, then place a piece of tissue down because then it would avoid greasy parts like differentials, sharp things, your tools from scratching the table or just rolling off in general. So if you're really harsh with your RC cars or you just break it in general, I am 100% sure that you will have been in this situation before. And then what's really annoying is that you forget where every single screw goes and how you put the car back together. So I found that the easiest way to track what you're doing is by taking photos. So when it comes to putting the car back together, you know exactly which holes the screws go in and which order you put the parts back together. Another tip I can give you is that if you keep your parts organised, then it'll be easier to find what goes where when it comes to reassembling. So I mean, keep your bolts for the shock towers in one place, keep the bolts for the diffs in another, pieces for suspension, pieces for covers, and for drive shafts. Also, if you have a really long workspace, what you can do is place the parts in order that you take them off. So when it comes to putting back together, the parts are right in front of you, so it becomes much easier for when you're putting the car back together. So when it comes to reassembling your car, you may be familiar with when you have to place your bolts in a square sort of pattern. So the way to make sure that it's easy for you to tighten up the bolts and also so you can avoid breaking parts, I find that the best way is to go in a crisscross pattern. So by starting at the top left or right and then moving to the bottom right or left, you have to go in a cross diagonally and then go to your top right and then go down to your bottom left. So at some point you may need to pop some pins in the end, and don't use a mallet or a hammer as you could potentially damage the bolts and also possibly damage parts on the car. Instead, you could use the end of your screwdriver as it has a small surface area and it is not very heavy and you don't need much force to pop them back in anyway. You have finished rebuilding your car and you have greasy hands from working with differentials, so don't use soap when you can use detergent as it does a much better job of cleaning the grease off. Just remember to put the detergent on first and then rinse off with water. So those are my top tips for making your life better and easier when you're working on your RC cars. If you have any that you'd like to share with me, then you can comment down below and I can feature them in the next video. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. You can even take it further to subscribing, but if you don't want to, then that's okay. Just knowing that you enjoyed the video puts a huge smile on my face. So that's all I've got to say for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!